Hey y'all, welcome back to the Celestial Harvest. Today I want to share with you the way that I get rid of mealybugs in my garden. I've got some mealybugs that have started creeping up in my sweet potato vines, and I want to talk to you about the solution that I place on them, and then a little more importantly, I want to show you what happens if you don't take care of your mealybug infestations early on. I wanted to start by letting you guys know that the very first line of defense that I use in my garden is to make sure that I have plant diversity and that I'm providing places for predatory bugs to hide and to be safe. I want to attract bugs like lady beetles and lacewings because that's going to be the best line of defense against things like mealybugs, aphids, and mites. With that being said, pests are inevitable, and this is how I make the solution. This is just a 32-ounce spray bottle that I'm going to fill with water. I'll add the water to just about maybe 26 ounces. And then I'm going to place dish soap, just a few drops. And finally, I'll add 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Now that we have our solution prepared, let's go to the sweet potato vines. As you can see in the leaves here on the sweet potatoes, there's some yellowing spots. And while you can't really see what's going on from the top side, once you turn the leaf over, you can see that there's mealybugs on the underside. And the real key to keeping up with this problem is making sure that you're checking your plants periodically for any signs of pests, because if you can get these when you only have one or two of them, you're gonna stand a much better chance of getting it under control pretty quickly without an extended amount of effort. When you find one or two of these, you can physically remove it with your fingers with spraying water, or you can actually dab it with a cotton swab or a cotton ball with alcohol on it. When I spray these plants, I am going to spray both the tops and the bottoms, but I'm going to pay special attention to the bottoms of the leaves and the corners of the stems where the leaves and the stems meet. Also of note, if you're applying this solution for the first time, you're not used to making it, do make sure that you test it on a leaf first, because if you're applying straight alcohol to some plants, you can burn them. Some are really tolerant of the alcohol and others are not. So please make sure that you're checking so you're not scorching your plant with alcohol. One of the most important things to remember when applying this type of treatment is that this is not a one and done kind of treatment. You can't come out one time and expect that you're not ever going to see any more mealybugs. And the thing that you need to do is make sure that you're coming back out and reapplying until you're no longer seeing any sign of mealybugs, and then also following back up a few days later, because as we talked about, they can have hundreds of babies, and we want to make sure that we're getting them through that entire life cycle and not leaving one or two that are still hatching more mealybugs out. The last tip that I want to give you about this is that you should look for the ants, because every time that I'm finding any kind of pest problem in my garden, I'm typically finding ants. And the reason specifically with mealybugs that you see ants is because the mealybugs will suck on the plant sap, and then they excrete a sticky substance such as called honeydew, and the ants actually will harvest this. They will actually cause the mealybugs to come where they want them so that they can harvest the honeydew from the plants. The last thing I want to show you is a severe infestation of mealybugs. This is actually my neighbor's plant, and at this point it's so covered with mealybugs that it probably will require an insecticidal soap, or even just removing this plant to get rid of this severe level of disease. The black that you see on the leaves is actually black sooty mold, which comes secondarily from the honeydew. So I hope that you guys have found some helpful tips, and I hope that if you deal with any mealybugs that you're able to treat them quickly so you don't have any issues like these.